Hello, I'm doing another video today, and today I will show you, I will put a link up to a document here which I think is interesting. It's basically about the revolution of military affairs, and this document is not fully translated from German yet, I think. Yeah, but I will give you some quotes here. What exactly is a revolution in military affairs? These kind of revolutions take place at key junctures in world history and change the fabric and the character of warfare forever. War is the primary means of instigating social change in society. Examples of a revolution in military affairs in past times include blitzkrieg, carrier warfare 1921 to 1939, and the atom bomb and the Manhattan Project 1941 to 1945, and the age of ICBMs 1955 to 1965. And we are currently in another revolution of military affairs. And what is this revolution then? This particular revolution that we're living through, that I think in a sense started in 2010, and this is what I see as the new sun in a sense. But I think also the new sun is it's part of the new system. This revolution in military affairs is part of the new system, and the sysadmin basis, it's basically the war on terror was an initiating spark, which basically was used to argument for that people should not be run by the fact that they should work, but they should rather be run by the fact that by control, to control them. And this has to do with the fact that they don't really need people to work anymore. We're into a new phase of not progress but rather sustaining the earth, and then everything is done from a control perspective rather than from we are no longer resources. The human beings are no longer resources. The planet is the resource, and the human beings are excess, possibly terrorists. And therefore we have this war on terror as the initiating motivation force to make the people understand there's a new basic structure of, and then we have a sysadmin type of actually military society emerging from this. In direct contrast to all of the previous society, the society of control which we're living in now does not encourage discipline. It enforces compliance and makes sure that your compliance is guaranteed. The stakeholders within this system, chief information officers, corporate bureaucrats, social workers, defense establishment figures, no longer consider the concepts of personal responsibility as being a crucial factor to maintain a healthy and stable society. So you no longer expect to make a career necessarily. I mean, you can make a career if you want, but it's not important, you see, from a society's perspective. Then it's not based. This society is not based on progress anymore. No longer consider the concept of personal responsibility as being a crucial factor to maintaining a healthy and stable society, but rather prefer a more conformist approach. Good behavior, self-discipline is now quantified, and rational approaches exist, such as surveillance, questionnaires, data mining of forum posts, tweets, emails, or to measure and determine individual and mass public behavior opinion. Deleuze covered all of this in his postscript to the Society of Control, as well as alluding to the fact that in order for this to succeed, the unions had to be on board with this new Society of Control, lest they be classified as a potential threat to the new system. So here you have to realize that you can't have a dialectic in the new system. This is the oneness that they also, the new system is based on a unilateral oneness, also discussed by Carl Johan Kalleman. um, uh, in this new system there is no opposite to peace. Everyone is on board, and it's run by control. You know, everything is based on control, and so, and they state in this document also, terrorist attacks ought to be understood as consciously crafted media events, and while that has always been the case, today it is more true than ever before in two ways. First, the terrorist attack is itself often designed and intended for the cameras. Terrorist attacks are designed for an audience. Their true target is not that which is blown up, that item or those people, for that is merely a stage prop. What is really being targeted are those watching at home. The goal, after all, is to have a psychological effect, to terrorize, and it isn't possible to have such an effect on the dead. And this is a quote from, well, it doesn't matter. So you see here, I read something more concerning data mining for those who put out information on the internet and think that they're free on YouTube and so on. Data mining is being applied to social networks and mobile networks to segregate and divide individuals into clusters and segments. The aim is to build up individual probability profiles consisting of information on the following: interaction with other people, the nature of these interactions, common conversations topics, interests, etc., the frequency with which these interactions occur, how many times per day do people chat over IM SMS with whom did said person chat the most this week. Both religion and nation states have taken on a less central role in world affairs due to globalism and the rise of atheism, and it's true, atheism is here, atheism. In this new landscape, ideas now constitute the enemy, which is ever-changing. Certain ideas' convictions are incompatible with others. Intellectual ideas copyrighted by certain corporations, for instance. Ideas which can affect the bottom line of the corporation because it gives them a strategic leverage against other corporations. To put a long story short, ideas existing and new ones have the potential to cause specific harm to pre-existing agendas, and thus could lead to a disruption of the current social orders. Ideas, you know, and it's very nicely summed up in this statement. What binds the enemy together are ideas. In an information age, the primary currency is information. These two statements explain everything. What binds the enemy together are ideas. In an information age, the primary currency is information. That's how they look upon it. Doesn't matter which ideas it is, and it can always be countered with information or dealt with. And it's always information and ideas that are interacting in all enemy clusters. That's how they look upon it. But obviously there are other factors that create enemies. The shift in mindset that brings around companies will approach business from a different perspective. The key distinguishing factor is content. Also changes the priorities and the operating procedure on the military and other defense-related institutions. So this document I will link to in this video, so you can check out The Revolution of Military Affairs, which basically, as I understand, is a run. We have seen it in Iraq, the peacekeepers, and the UN peacekeepers, and it's basically worldwide in the new globalized structure. Social workers are involved in it. It's all about control, you see. It's very interesting to realize how they function, how it works, how they look upon people. That's it for now. Bye.